This is Julien Bahane, who I've had the privilege of almost racing with during Heineken during the COVID year. And then the oldest guy in the boat is Phil Monkton, who's former vice chair of Rowing Canada.
76 Montreal Olympics.
Who rode in Montreal. But Phil can bring it. So, okay, and here we go. On the orange buoys, putting them right on the hull. It's a Harvard Coxswain and an ex-Nemo. Yep. And right on their tail, looking like they're maintaining the spacing, is bow number 2. So here comes ex-Nemo and Marin.
Rich, again, expert job coxing, putting the buoys underneath the port side riggers. That's a great looking crew going along here.
This is Marin in bow 2, isn't it? Or do we?
Yes.
Okay. Marin typically rowing with red and white oars, but borrowing some blades here today in their red and black shirts.
Which we don't have updated times.
Yeah,
for them
they're out
coming
of
through CBC.
they're out of earshot, but at Weld they were 0.6 of a second apart from each
Yes,
other.
it looks like they've spread to about 3.5 seconds now, but they still have another 800 meters before the finish, so you can make. Yes.
So a fit 70-something
with one other 50-plus man and a bunch of 30-year-olds. It works.
Yeah, this is one of these. You do the calculation, and total years in the boat has to total, 50 times 8.
So we do have 33 competitors. So that was our first 3 in this event. Approaching now bow number 5, Diesel.
So these are national team alums for the U.S.
Yes, 1999 world champs.
Yep. There'll be a couple of Diesel alums in a couple of Diesel boats in this.
Yes, you'll be hearing that name quite a few times today and tomorrow. And Irish Master is joining us now with the Kelly Green and the faux wood hull. Regular attenders to the head of the Charles, and they love to support the local economy on the Saturday night after the event. I think we all know what they're referring to. Bow number 4 in the blue hull, Chinook, and that's another Virginia crew. As we were saying before, the Virginia, D.C. area, as well as Delaware, has really been exploding in rowing. So this is the second Diesel crew. Diesel actually had back-to-back bow numbers, 5 and 6. They appear to be wearing army green matching shirts, and they're trying to hold off bow number 8, a second RCA boat. And it appears we have, yes, another old ex-Nemo boat.
Yeah, the Diesel RCA relationship goes back to the World Championships, where the U.S. Men and the Canadian men, long history of dueling each other in the A finals.
So unofficial timing so far, first finisher about 5 seconds off the record. So it's in the conversation, but I think it may live another year here. And that was Marin, and then ex-Nemo, who were about 5 seconds apart. Approaching us side by side, you can see that's clearly Fat Cat in orange and black on the Boston side. That's bow number 11. Oh, and they are trying to overtake bow number 10, Texas Rowing Center. Let's see how these coxswains negotiate the turn side by side.
So at Weld, there was a half a second Nemo lead. That switched over to a 4-second Marin lead here at CBC. And the finishing margin was about 7 seconds. So Marin working the second half of the course.
Well, as we were commentating, the Marin coxswain was doing a fantastic job on the buoy line and the angle exiting Elliott Bridge. That's a BMA, so
Yep,
this
Cornell
is Cornell
alums. Yep.
alumni.
Or no, well,
Or
no, it means something else.
I think there's something else.
Yeah,
but yeah.
that would be the edited. That'd be the edited version. It goes back to a Cornell-Harvard rivalry.
And entering the bridge now is a riverfront recapture boat joining us from Hartford. And
It's one of those if you know, you know.
North Dakota in the yellow Empire. Oh, not them. That's 13, not 17. And then right behind them is Sammamish Rowing Association.
Bulldog?
16. Olden Bears. So in front of us right now, black and gold, that's the Olden Bears. These are alumni from Cal.
Not exclusively.
No, but
Yeah.
generally they try to staff the boat with mostly alumni from Cal. 17 with the blue and white, that is Bulldog, Yale alumni.
Not exclusively.
Again, yes, the clubs are in the spirit of trying to staff the entire boat with strictly alumni, but sometimes you get a couple ringers or fill-ins that you got to have 9 men in a boat. Uh, 19, one of our
Crabtree
international friends.
from London. They're based on the Thames, and it's a mix of first-time HOCR competitors, but also veterans. They have all raced at Henley Royal and other international regattas, so their credentials in that boat.
Yes, and I believe Crabtree is generally affiliated with Cambridge alumni. Is that correct?
The color would suggest that.
Yes.
I
Because
will-
we do have another Oxford alumni boat, and I do not want to get them mistaken.
I would disqualify that as a semi-educated guess.
Yes. And in front of us now in the black hull, it's Narragansett out of Providence, Rhode Island. Remember how earlier we had a club claim they are the oldest boat club in the United States? Well, Narragansett also makes that claim as
Yeah.
well. We're not here to judge or tell you the history, so you can ask them yourselves. If I were to guess this boat approaching us with the Harvard blades and crimson Henley shirts, I'm going to say they're probably an ex-Nemo boat. Bow 23, it's actually not ex-Nemo, it's the Crimson Death Barge. It's a compilation boat made out of the 1989 freshman lightweight crew from Harvard.
Yeah, now, alumni boats come under several different names, but generally speaking, the regatta tries to allocate things ratably. So you'll see some particularly clever names coming out of the Harvard alums as
Yes.
they're like, trying to say, oh yeah, we're the only entry from that club.
Having just passed us, that was a Swiss crew, and now in front of us right now is Evergreen. That would be Dartmouth alumni, generally.
Yeah, the Swiss crew was rowing club Thawil, if I pronounced that correctly, from Lake Zurich.
Yes, Lake Zurich, I think, is one of the more beautiful rowing locations on the planet. It is incredible. second only to the Charles River.
I will compliment all of these Masters coxswains on how they're handling Elliott.
In the yellow Empacher, we have Brown alumni right in front of us, rowing with the brown-topped white blades. And 25 directly in front of CBC.
Yeah, Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club.
Hong Kong Rowing Club.
Yep.
Or Yacht Club, excuse me.
Which has a few recognizable names of people that have been on this river more than a few times.
Phillips Academy
this is
alumni.
their third trip to the Charles.
This is Friends of Phillips Academy. That's not the one here in the Boston area, but a Phillips Academy in Maryland, just entering the Elliott Bridge. And we have 4 boats coming across right now.
About 24 out in front. Those are the Penn 80 lightweight alums from the DC area, holding water, and the red boat.
27 doesn't.
We've got 2 boats holding water under the bridge and a fast boat on the other side. What's the number?
31.
31 moving up on the Boston shore. That's De Hoop from the Netherlands.
So they holding water going into Elliott forced 27 to hold water. So I think that may have been an example of the coxswain.
Excellent steering from the Netherlands.
Yes, that was fantastic.
And it's
navigating around.
You get into this debate about is the Amstel or the Charles a more technical river?
And approaching us now is bow number 29. That's another Yale alumni. So this is Yale Oldfellows. Another variation on the alumni namings. If I were to suspect, the coxswain probably did not feel confident in making the second part of the turn there, exiting Elliott with the fast-moving boat on the Boston side already cutting across.
Yeah, because if you impede somebody passing, that's a 1-minute penalty.
But of course, we're out of earshot from the crews, and we're not telling the referees what to do. We're just free talking here. I'm going to guess that's probably going to be an impediment.
We're sharing information
on the crew behind them.
Yes. Yeah.
That is not up to us to decide.
Except when it's not. It's a judgment call from the U.S. rowing umpires.
Yes, who are all certified and make
all
the
over
best
and all
choices.
over the course. There are many eyes on this river.
They know so much more than we do. We're just trying to inform our audience. In front of us right now is bow number 32, Union Boat Club. And they are holding off DeWolf. So DeWolf being BU, generally BU alumni.
Yeah, with the red over white oars.
Affiliated with BU. Their boathouse has one of the best views of the Boston skyline anywhere in the city. And it was actually designed specifically for that. And that room has been claimed as the head coach's office.
It's the erg room is a multi-purpose room. They have many events there.
So this is now bow number 1 of our next event, the men's Grandmaster 8, so 60 plus. This is another Marin crew out in front.
Okay, so same comments before about Marin, the 50s and the 60s all trained together. It's a very competitive selection process. Followed by bow number 2 from Upper Yarra in Melbourne, another head racing river. It's the Upper Yarra Rowing Club.
Now this is a big gap between 1 and 2.
Big gap, yep.
Marin and Upper Yarra did place 1 and 2 last year, with Upper Yarra setting the course record in 22. So they're both looking to probably try and get underneath that 16-minute line.
And Head of the Yarra is a great head race. It's summer down there when it's winter here,
yes,
it's one that they're very interested in having Northern Hemisphere crews come down to visit.
Effectively, the Head of the Charles is the start of their racing season, since for them this is springtime.
So unofficials on the last one in first, Marin A, 7 seconds up on Ex Nemo, who was up on Rowing Canada.
In front of us right now is bow number 3, which is USD alumni. This is one of our crews to watch for this event, since they won gold at the Crew Classic this spring in the 60-plus category. So they've had some success in the 2024 racing calendar. Behind them and in front of us right now, entering Elliott Bridge, is bow number 4, the 1980 crew. This is made of the 1980 Olympic team and some friends.
And friends.
Because as we were saying, it is more in the spirit of the team, plus whoever you need to fill out the boat. Bow number 5, entering the bridge, Cornell alumni. And then bow number 6 in the Whitehall, Palm Beach, joining us from Florida.
Cornell, featuring head of the Charles, managing director and former Cambridge Boat Club president John Grant. Bunch of recognizable names in that boat. CBC member Andrew Calfels, U.S. rowing supporter Ray Hill, Brad Boricke, who's raced with Cambridge over in Europe. Everybody knows everybody.
Yes, the rowing world feels big until it suddenly feels very small.
The older you get, everybody really knows everybody. All right, we got Stripes.
So out in front here, that is bow number 8, who has overtaken bow number 7. 8, obviously, horizontal Stripes. That is Riverside. And they have overtaken bow number 7, Upper Valley Rowing. So that is out of Hanover, New Hampshire, rowing on the Connecticut River.
Noise on the bridge.
Yes, sounds like we have some...
Bringing the cowbells.
And orange and black, we all know who that is.
Yep,
that is Fat Cat.
Fat Cats from the 80s. 1980s rock stars. Okay.
And another bit of a gap here.
So allowing for back at the Packers through the finish line. Upper Yarra in first place, followed by Marin.
Yeah, 0.6 of a second off the record, unofficially. Unofficially, Upper Yarra was 0.6 of a second off the record.
Off the record.
Yes, so
we've
just
we've got a lot of, ooh, that was a close one.
Yep. Or again, these are unofficial timing, so they could be changed.
Yeah.
So out in front here, in the black shirts with the red blades, that is California, bow number 11.
Yep, coxed by Mark Zemsch.
Slightly crossing race lines.
There's some national team alums in that boat.
Right behind them, we have basically bow on Cox or bow on stroke.
With New Haven and the green and white. Green, white, and blue.
Good race lines from both crews. Definitely jockeying and not letting each other get the better line.
Zemsch was my U23 Cox 40 years ago.
So one of the interesting things about the Elliott Bridge turn and exit is that if one crew doesn't yield to let the other crew have the better race line, both crews end up having bad race lines.
Yep.
So on the Cambridge side of the river in the Empauker, bow number 13, it's Warren. On the Boston side,
yep, it's
Cambridge.
Harvard lightweight alums.
And
on the far side, Cambridge Boat Club, bow number 14.
And in the yellow with the red hull, pulling up the rear of this pack, is Corvallis out of Oregon. They've won the 70+4 twice and won the 60+8 once.
That CBC Warren crossover approaching Belmont Hill is going to be interesting. We can just see the edges of it from our vantage point. We're a little too high up.
Yes, some years we can see it if the river is particularly low. But we can see where the buoys are laid. So generally, we can speak to if a crew is going through the Cambridge Arch, whether or not it's safe or whether or not they're going to hit the dock. But it's tough to tell the back corner of the dock, which we can talk about steering strategy more in a minute. Bow number 17 is right in front of us in the yellow hull, the Empauker hull. That is Bulldog. That's another Yale boat, Yale alumni crew. They've overtaken Team Attager, So that's, of course, regatta backwards.
Traditionally made up of Head of the Charles volunteer leadership.
Yep. And Head of the Charles executives. And then in the rear of this little pack here is bow number 16, Purple Rain, which are Williams College alumni.
Yeah, Attiger over the years has won multiple head titles. They had a streak of 7 or 8 in this event that just went year after year. And
Now,
the streak actually became something of
out in front of us in the silver hull there, bow number 22, doing a fantastic coxing job. Again, riggers over buoys.
Chinook. Now, Chinook is a Rolodex crew. It's a virtual club. So they also train competitively, and then they try to put together. Now, then followed by bow 20 from West End.
Yeah, right on their tail.
Yep, in New Zealand, traveling all the way from Auckland.
And in front of us right now with the white hull and white blades is another
Upper Yarra from
Western Hemisphere or Eastern Hemisphere crew,
so you got the
and Southern Hemisphere
got the
crew.
Kiwi Aussie thing going right here. Yeah, everybody knows everybody.
But although Chinook is a Rolodex crew, they are a high-performance Rolodex crew. They always do well.
They have camps that you have to go to if you want to row in one of their boats. You have to show up, and so they want to know that the chemistry works.
And red and black, those of you who follow college rowing will know that is Wesleyan. So this is the Wesleyan alums crew. These are all former Wesleyan varsity rowers throughout the years. Which, back to Chinook, I have no problem with Rolodex crews entering events like this, but I feel they have to be competitive. That is the spirit of it, right?
If you're gonna put together, if you're going to go out and try to find the best possible people, you got to bring it.
Yes, you can't poach them from a local crew to be part of a Rolodex crew if you're not a solid contender.
We can get into the debate about the 60 plus 8s versus the alumni 8s. Because I think some of these alumni 8s this year are actually championship 8 caliber lineups.
Speaking of alumni 8, entering the bridge right now, that is Northeastern University alumni. But yes, I think the alumni 8 event today, this weekend, is going to be extraordinarily competitive.
Like 6 of the 8 rowers being either Tokyo or Paris Olympians.
This is another USD alumni crew. So that's the University of San Diego. Yes, and we do mean Paris as in several months ago Olympians.
As in they haven't had a chance to get out of shape yet.
Yes. As in they probably had one baguette since they medaled. In front of us now in the yellow hull is bow number 27, one of our international crews joining us here on the beautiful Boston morning. Quinton.
And let's clarify, this is a veterans entry. You've got the 60 plus and the 70 plus going at it together.
Yes, this has an average age of 70.
There are 2 first place medals here, and this crew is right on the 70 age group thing.
And they've overtaken another 70 plus crew, Tuwong. It's a Australian crew from Brisbane. They're in the white hull, slightly ahead of bow number 28, a Pen AC crew.
So the way you build one of these lineups is you have the core of the boat, and then you go younger and younger with the last 1 or 2 people so that you come in right at 70.0 years.
With the white, orange, and blue blades, these are Coast Guard Academy alumni.
So it's your age, it's your fitness, and then it gets into the port starboard thing. So if you're trying to get boated in one of these boats, being able to scull and row both sides sweep is a good thing.
And now approaching CBC in the sky blue shirts and yellow hats. That's bow number 24, Phil Roche's boys out of Pennsylvania. This is a reunion boat of Father Judge High School, coached by Phil Roche. And they won the Junior 8 event in 1974 here at the Head of the Charles. So welcome back.
So right now in the Grand
This
Master
is
with
the 50th anniversary of their winning race.
There you go.
Glad to have you all back.
That's pretty impressive. So in the 60 plus right now, unofficials are Upper Yarra, Marin, and Chinook, with some races to come through the finish. The early leader in the 70 plus is Team Adager. But they've got Quinton and Upper Yarra bearing down on them.
Right, I do believe that is the conclusion of event 16. Our next event, 17, women.